Alright guys, so I want to talk about the Season 8 legend or the possible Season 8 legend in this video, and this is Blisk. Now, I made a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago talking about Blisk as well as Ash, because Blisk and Ash are kind of speculated to be the Season 8 legends as of right now. But I want to go more in depth about Blisk today and talk about his backstory, a bit of his lore as well, and also of course his abilities, his speculated and leaked abilities. The Season 7 split actually starts tomorrow, and Season 8 drops in February, like the first few days in February. So it's not that far away. Like, it may seem like it's gonna be a whole long wait, but before you know it guys, Season 8 will be here and we'll have a brand new legend to play with and see how they are. And based on recent leaks and based on my speculation and stuff, I have a very strong feeling that this legend will in fact be Blisk. Now, I obviously have to make a disclaimer before I jump into this video, because some of you guys out there might not want to be spoiled right now. So if you don't want to see any spoilers or any potential spoilers, click off the video. I'll give you guys some time, because I understand if you want to be completely surprised when Season 8 does drop. Obviously, all of this information right now isn't like completely confirmed, but it still could potentially be true. And if it's true, I don't want to be the one responsible for actually giving you guys these spoilers if you didn't want to see it. So click off right now if you want to be spoiler free. But if you're still watching the video, then let's talk about Blisk. Before we move on though, I'm on the road to 50k subs guys, you know this. So if you want to see a boy reach 50k, hit that sub button, I'd appreciate it so much. So if you want to support, hit that sub button, hit that like button, I appreciate it. Alright, so first up, let's kind of get some backstory about Blisk and what type of legend Blisk will be. Now, Blisk is actually a very important character or legend or just, you know, figure in Apex right now, because he is a leader of the Apex Predators, right? Which is kind of like a unit or a group of freelance pilots. For you guys who don't play Titanfall or just don't know what pilots are, back in Titanfall, pilots would actually operate those, you know, big Titans. So most pilots are actually very skilled. So Blisk, guys, being the leader of the Apex Predators, which is a very big title in itself, he also went on to create the Apex games. So Blisk isn't some kind of joke. Blisk isn't like just a random legend, guys, or a random character. He does have a very strong presence in the Apex universe, or the Titanfall universe by extension. And most likely when Respawn, you know, does decide to slowly introduce him a bit more into the lore, we'll get to see, you know, how much of a strong character he is. Now, Blisk also worked for the IMC as a contracted mercenary, and he was also a very, I would say, infamous war criminal. I mean, Blisk used to do some serious shit. He was very, you know, big on doing a good job and getting paid for what he's worth. So he's a very serious guy. He takes his work seriously, and he's also very skilled at what he does. He's also kind of ruthless. Now, unlike many other legends in this game, Blisk is actually from Earth. He's actually from South Africa, so I think he's the first legend. I might be wrong, but he might be the first legend to actually, you know, originate from Earth out of every single Apex legend so far, but I could be wrong. Now, with all of that backstory, this is where Blisk is right now. He's upset with Hammond Robotics for some reason, and he kind of disappeared for a while as well. So nobody really knows exactly what Blisk has been up to, like what Blisk is working on, what he's trying to accomplish. But as I said, right, Blisk is a very dangerous person. He's a very skilled person as well. He knows what he's doing, and when he actually decides to show up and show out, I think everybody will know. We actually recently got to see Blisk in Rampart Stories from the Outlands. He kind of invited Rampart into the Apex games. I mean, he's still around, he's still there, but if Respawn decides to actually introduce Blisk into Season 8, we'll see a much more, you know, prominent storyline. Alright, so with Blisk's backstory and his lore out of the way, let's take a look at the fun part, and this is his abilities. I talked a bit about Blisk's abilities in my previous video, like my previous Season 8 legend video, but I kind of want to go more in depth today and like really talk about what I think his abilities will be like, if they'll be useful, and just basically how these abilities will fit into the Apex meta. So these abilities basically came from that big leak back in Season 2, guys, and this leak has been very accurate so far, because it actually shows, you know, Loba's abilities, some of Crypto's abilities, Revenant's abilities as well. So it has been very accurate, and if we're following the trend, then these could very well be Blisk's abilities when he does arrive in the game in Season 8, hopefully. So first up, guys, we have his passive, which is called Interrogation, and it says this: executing an enemy will reveal the location of their allies for 10 seconds. Executing basically means, you know, finishing an enemy, right? So this to me is a very good ability. I can actually really see this being of use in Apex. Like, it depends on the range of this ability, like how far away does an enemy need to be for you to actually, you know, see their location when you finish their teammate, and also how does the location work? Like, do you see them on the map? Do you see them in game, like in between walls and stuff? How would you actually get to see the enemy if you finish the enemy's teammate? All good questions, but the big thing right here, guys, is that it actually gives you an incentive to want to finish someone. Like, if your teammates could like hold off the enemies while you finish someone, it'll basically give you a very big advantage because you'll be able to see the rest of the team for 10 seconds, which is actually really good. So this song's very useful for a passive ability, and I really want to see how it plays out in game, so we'll see. Next up is its tactical ability, and it's called Throwing Knife. Deals 20 damage and marks the target. Killing a marked target rewards double credits. So let's first talk about like dealing 20 damage and marking the target, right? Basically what this means to me is that if you hit somebody with this throwing knife, if you connect it, you'll be able to see this enemy for a whole 20 seconds, which to me is very, very good. That means no matter where they go, if they want to go and hide somewhere or like heal up, you would know exactly where this person is for a whole 20 seconds, which is great, right? Now, if your teammates could also see the marked target, that would be great, because if you're marked in that case, then you're basically dead, right? So that should be good. But it also, you know, rewards you double credits if you kill the enemy, if you killed the marked target. And the whole credit system for Blisk is also really interesting, so I'll talk a bit more about that in his ultimate. But basically Blisk is a character who can like collect credits and, you know, build stuff, or should I say craft stuff with these credits. So his ultimate is called Payday, right? And it says squad kills award credits, spend credits on powerful supplies. The keyword here is powerful supplies, so to me that means purple loot and above. This could actually be a very, very good ability. I mean, if we think about legends who have similar abilities in this game, the closest person to this right now is Loba, because Loba can kind of like, you know, give her teammates loot because of her ultimate. But Blisk could basically buy any loot he wants once he has enough supplies, and obviously he can then give that loot to his teammates, right? So he's kind of like, you know, a walking replicator, which to me sounds very, very useful. I mean, Blisk could actually potentially be a very good legend to play in ranked, even competitive play, because this ultimate in itself just sounds very, very dangerous, very, very promising, and it all depends on how Respawn decides to balance it out and bring it into the game. But by just reading this right here, right, it sounds like a very useful and a very effective ultimate to have. So looking at every single one of his abilities right now, he does seem to be a very, you know, powerful legend in the game. Now, as I said, right, these abilities will leak to way back in season 2, so every single thing here could change, but Loba's abilities stayed the same pretty much, Rampart's abilities stayed the exact same, Revenant's abilities were the same. The only difference that actually took place was that in season 7, Horizon came instead of Valk. So, I mean, Respawn could decide to change Blisk, but I just basically have a feeling that there's a very good chance of Blisk showing up in season 8. But as I said, we'll see what Respawn decides to do. He should overall be a very fun and effective legend to play when or if he does arrive, so we'll see. Let me know your thoughts right now in the comment section about Blisk. Do you guys think he songs good? Do you think he songs weak? What do you think about him? And would you potentially even main him if he does come into the game? What do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed as always, and I'll see you guys in some more Apex. Till next time.